My update on ICT Silver Bullet entry. More than 80% winning rate. This is unbelievable how accurate it is. Hello traders and welcome back to another video. In this video I am going to break down several trades that we entered using only ICT Silver Bullet technique. The winning rate is astonishing when you follow the rules strictly and don't cheat. I will explain later on what I mean with that. Let me do a quick reminder of ICT Silver Bullet schematic from the previous video. We are back on chart to break down these types of setups. The currency pair is US dollar versus Canadian dollar. The first step is to draw the liquidity levels, the buy side liquidity and the sell side liquidity. As we can clearly see, the price took the buy side and dropped in downside direction, leaving behind a fair value gap. We are shifting on 1 minute time frame in order to refine the imbalance zone, the so-called fair value gap. And eventually we noticed another one, much clearer than the 5-minute time frame. I decided to put a sell limit order in the middle of this zone in order to increase the risk reward of the trade. The classic entry should have been at the bottom edge of this zone. The silver bullet time window just started, and we are patiently waiting for the price to trigger our position. As we can see, the price touched the edge of the imbalance zone and dropped in downside direction. This was a missed opportunity from our part. I was lucky and price returned to our entry level, triggered it, and dropped sharply in downside direction. I love this type of trades. I call them sniper entry because it has no drawdown and is risk-free since the beginning. I managed to close 50% of the position when the price touched the imbalance zone. Let's move on to another setup. The currency pair is gold versus US dollar. We have highlighted the buy side and sell side liquidity. As we can see, price is near the buy side, so we are waiting for price to grab the liquidity and then considering a sell position. We are shifting on 1 minute time frame in search for market shift in downside direction. My time zone is not New York time. This is why it shows as 10 AM below the chart. I had a lot of comments regarding it. This is why I wanted to clarify. As we can see, price completed the first criteria of a silver bullet entry, grabbed the buy side liquidity. Then we had a strong drop in downside direction, leaving behind a fair value gap that we serve as entry level. This is the second criteria. The third one, it's the market structure shift. We had a long consolidation that most of times will stop you out. I saw a strong impulse in upside direction, and I managed to close the trade at break-even. Couple of minutes after I closed, price dropped in downside direction, reaching 1-to-1 risk-reward target. We didn't profit from this move, but it's more than okay, it's part of trade management. Let's shift to the next setup. The currency pair is US dollar versus Canadian dollar. The same procedure. We are marking the buy side and sell side liquidity. During the first minutes of silver bullet time window, price dropped in downside direction, less than a pip below the sell side liquidity level. My mistake was that I consider this move as liquidity sweep. I shifted on 1 minute to enter a trade. We have here a shift in market direction. I managed to enter a buy trade at the edge of fair value gap that created during the bullish impulse. Price made a small bounce in upside direction and stopped us out for 2 pips. In this case, I can admit, we become the liquidity for the market itself. As we can see, price jumped in upside direction, reaching our initial target. In this case, the loss was ours, and not the failure of silver bullet entry. We simply entered a premature position, and didn't wait for clear liquidity sweep. We are going to learn from this mistake and try not to repeat it in the future trades. We have a similar situation with the previous one. The pair is gold versus US dollar. I waited for a clear liquidity sweep. This event happened a couple of minutes before 10 AM, but as I mentioned in previous video, we must be flexible, so this event is considered as first criteria of silver bullet entry. Then, we had a shift in market structure. During this impulse, price left behind an imbalance zone that will serve us as entry level. We put a buy limit position at the edge of this imbalance, and as we can see, price triggered it perfectly. Then price compressed for a couple of minutes, but never risked to stop us out. I managed to close all the position at supply zone order block. Eventually price reached the full target, but I prefer not to hold these types of trades more than 3 hours. The last setup for this video is a London Silver Bullet entry. As we can notice, price took the buy-side liquidity and created the market structure shift, our major confirmation to go for a sell entry. And of course, the entry is located at fair value gap. We had almost no drawdown in this trade and price dropped sharply in downside direction. In this moment, I closed all the position and banked the profits. I hope you have enjoyed the silver bullet trades that I shared with you. I appreciate if you like and subscribe. We are going to be back with new content very soon.